Before I even begin, Fred, I can't even tell you how much I appreciate your presentation, as well as Lee and Tom. I know he just left. I will say this much. This country will not falter on our watch. You know, we have better. Thank you. It's my son that's good with the electronics. He's 5. He disassembles the VCR and he puts it back together. The DVD player, rather. First, it is incredibly humbling to be here tonight again in front of all you good people. I wanted to make sure I announced that some certain people are here. I know, obviously, we've already heard from Lee and Tom Croce, but Randy Alschulter, candidate for Congress in CD1, is he still here? Islip Councilman Steve Flotterin. Gary Newman of the Independence Party. John Cushman, SAFE. Councilman-elect Gene Cook. Babylon Republican Party Chairman Anthony Pensala. And I know Bob Savitz hates it when I announce him, but because he gets so shy. Bob Savitz of the Ronald Reagan Republican Party. Mark Majorca of the Huntington Town Board. John Scatino of the Islip Republican Party. Josh Price, another one who doesn't like introductions, of the Vice Chair of Huntington Republican Party. Bob and Mary Myers, Suffolk 912. Tony Del Vecchio of America Tea Party. Barbara Samuels of Super Seniors. And Laura Gill of Massapequa Tea Party. Rich Appel, Tomorrow's Republicans. Brian Corman of Rockville Center. And Tony Mordente of Right Principles. Oh, and actually, Matt Turner, Congressman Bob Turner, was going to try to make it this evening. However, he got called away. However, Matt Turner, I'm not sure where you are, but he did just get here. Thank you very much for coming. And I appreciate your dad's effort to try to get here. It means a lot to me. First off, I just want to say how happy I am to be here tonight, clearly. I want to thank you for not only the opportunity to speak here, but also all the hard work that went into making this evening a reality. Ladies and gentlemen, as Fred put out very eloquently, today we stand at a crossroads, and our country's future depends on which path we take. In places such as Zacuta Park, we watched our elected officials frozen with fear in the face of brazen lawlessness. Where were our leaders? Where were our leaders while all this was going on in New York City? More specifically, I'd ask, where was Steve Israel? Where was Steve Israel as the flag of our country was being desecrated by the members of the Occupy Wall Street movement? Where was Steve Israel as these protesters defecated on police cars and performed other vile acts in complete defiance of our country's laws. Where was he? Where was he when anti-Semitism flourished throughout the entire Occupy Wall Street movement? I'll tell you where he was. He was putting a petition in support of the Occupy Wall Street movement on the Democratic Congressional Committee website. Now, shocking. Ladies and gentlemen, they're simply, these individuals in the Occupy Wall Street movement, they're just not confused young people here trying to find their way in our country. They're not. These individuals carried signs such as Karl Marx was right, Zionist control Wall Street, fight for socialism. Now those signs themselves are a testament to what that group stands for and their intent for our country. And it's for that reason I question why Congressman Steve Israel would so openly endorse and embrace these individuals with such an absolute dark, and I think the key word is radical view of our country. The Obama administration and the leaders of the Democratic Party are pushing us down a path that's led countries such as Greece, Italy, Spain, Ireland, to the point of near insolvency. We must not let that happen here. Steve Israel, he's not a moderate. I know we know that. He is a liberal in the service of a Democratic president who wants to redistribute the wealth of this country as he sees fit. Let's remember that, as he sees fit. Let's first take a look at his record. Steve Israel supports this incredible travesty of Obamacare, which is on course to destroy the finest healthcare system in the world. He supports increasing taxes on millionaires and billionaires. Now, interestingly, he considers a millionaire perhaps as a working couple that makes $250,000 a year, or a small business owner. But also, more importantly, he supports this terribly flawed economic policy that has put us in a position where we have 14 million Americans currently unemployed. And what's most shocking is that approximately 6.2 million Americans have been unemployed for a period of over 6 months. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the highest rate since the Great Depression. Steve Israel voted for the Obama stimulus program, which did nothing to improve our unemployment rate in this country. And it didn't create a single shovel-ready job. He supports never-ending support to increasing our debt ceiling, without even the slightest consideration that maybe we should cut spending. And also, he places his faith in the Federal Reserve and the Federal Reserve's ability to pay off our debts by literally pulling money out of thin air, or using terms such as quantitative easing. We've all heard that. But like all cheap tricks of parlor room magic, it's all an illusion. It's an illusion. As Ronald Reagan taught us, we have to starve the beast. We just can't spend money we don't have. I'm running for Congress. I'm running for Congress so I can help preserve that constitutional order of limited government, free markets, strong national security, and a sense that America is not only an exceptional nation, but we are an indispensable nation to the face of the earth. Let me stress to you all right now, this to me isn't necessarily just a job, or perhaps a means to increase my career or some career change. Lee put it very well. I appreciate that. This is, above all, this is a call to duty. It's a call to duty, because I am fearful that this will be the first generation in American history where our children are not guaranteed a better life than the generation before. Now, when I go to Washington, I will fight. I will fight any further raising of our country's debt ceiling without trillions of dollars in cuts to offset. I will fight to ensure that all of these job-killing tax increases will not happen again. These tax increases, they're not only destroying the national economy, but they're also destroying small businesses here on Long Island. And I'm going to fight for an audit of the Federal Reserve. I was somewhat shocked today when there was a $7 trillion, well, they found out that $7 trillion from the Federal Reserve went over to some foreign banks. It just came out today. Somewhat reinforces the point of transparency. However, an election is never won just by attacking your opponent's position. So this is who I am. This is what I believe. I believe in the ability to live in a country that offers liberty without an overly intrusive government. I believe in a country that allows us the freedom to rise up and achieve our goals, but also rise up from our failures. A country where any entrepreneur can start a new business without necessarily being stifled by over-government regulation and taxation. A country where there is a basic safety net for those individuals, perhaps, who are less fortunate, but where the individual, that individual has the prime responsibility for the choices they've made in life. And most of all, this is my core belief. I believe in this country that we need to follow that core constitutional form of government. I am going to fight to ensure that it's American interests, our interests, this country, prevail over the interests over often ungrateful nations of the world. And I say ungrateful because this world owes everything positive in it to the United States of America. And I will speak out every single time this president decides he wants to bow to emperors, terrorists, enemy heads of state, and apologize for our country, and no apology is warranted. And I'm going to make sure, I'm going to support the state of Israel. Now, this is our only true ally in the Middle East. And in that support, I will never waffle, and I'll never waver. I'm going to go to Washington as a proud Republican who carries with him the philosophy of limited government. I believe we all understand that this is our last best chance to return to that constitutional order of government that our founding fathers envisioned. This is why I'm running for Congress today. This is why I'm asking for your support. We must stand united. As Americans, we must stand united because we all realize here what's at stake. Our family security is at stake. Our economic future is at stake. Our economic well-being, but also our rights to enjoy the traditional values that we've long associated with our country. That's at stake. Our right, and even more importantly, the right of our children to the America we all know and love. That's at stake here too. Together, We can defeat Steve Israel. We can do it. Steve Israel, he's just another politician. That's all he is. Together, we can save our country. That's why we're here today. This isn't just about me. I understand that this event is a fundraiser for me to run for Congress. But this is a rally. This is a rallying call to everybody in this room. We need to be united. We can save this country. This is our country that so many have bled and suffered grievous wounds in war. Let their sacrifices not be in vain, because this country will not go into the night like so many other nations, empires in the past. That's not who we are. Together we will win. Together we can win. I want to say God bless you all for being here tonight. God bless the United States of America. And thank you.